What's up, everybody, and welcome to Reviews for My Kids, the show where I recap, review, and reminisce on all of the things I've grown to love over the years to not only share with my kids, but with you as well. Kids, today we're diving into another episode of Doug, an episode full of snaky surprises, unexpected teamwork, and even how to manage a little bit of bullying. Let's get into it.
That's me.
Camping partners, merit badges, and the great outdoors. Let's break down the episode of Doug Takes a Hike.
The episode opens with Doug in the forest, reciting the Bluff Scouts pledge, promising to respect nature and help fellow scouts in need. Mr. Dink officially inducts Doug into the Bluff Scouts as a tender toe, their term for a rookie. Doug looks around at the other scouts proudly wearing badges and becomes determined to earn one himself. Mr. Dink announces a hiking challenge. Whichever team finds something that best represents the forest will win the coveted Nature Merit Badge. Doug immediately begins imagining himself earning his very first badge and becoming a true scout. Before the hike begins, Mr. Dink tells the scouts to pair up. Doug plans to partner with his best friend Skeeter, but Roger swoops in, declaring that Doug, being the new kid, needs his guidance. Doug reluctantly agrees, and Roger assures him that sticking with him will take him far. Doug imagines the opposite. Mr. Dink angrily tearing off his badges and ripping his hat in shame. Later, Roger dumps a pile of supplies into Doug's arms and tells him to go into the woods and wait. When Doug returns, he finds that Roger has used his underwear as a makeshift flag, just to humiliate him. As night falls, Roger runs off to report their progress, leaving Doug alone to pitch the tent. When Roger comes back and sees the tent is a mess, he scolds Doug and asks if he collected firewood, something Roger never even mentioned. Roger then shares a scary story about a new scout named Skunky Beaumont, who was supposedly attacked by a living tree while looking for firewood. Spooked but determined, Doug goes into the woods. His imagination runs wild and he sees creepy creatures and a tree punching him repeatedly. When he snaps out of it, he finds Roger swinging a rope in his face, laughing. The next morning, Mr. Dink signals the start of the hike. During the trek, Doug hears something moving and discovers a green snake slithering out from a bush. To his surprise, the snake is friendly, writing "Hi" in the dirt and wrapping around Doug affectionately. Doug names him Mr. Scaly. When he introduces Mr. Scaly to Roger, Roger screams and runs away in fear. Doug briefly fantasizes about exposing Roger's fear to the rest of the scouts, but then remembers his pledge to help a fellow Bluff Scout in need. Back at the campsite, Doug introduces Mr. Scaly to the group without revealing Roger's secret. The snake becomes a hit, and everyone wants a turn holding him. To save face for Roger, Doug shows off the snake's tricks and earns admiration from the others. Impressed, Mr. Dink awards both Doug and Roger the Nature Merit Badge. Roger, clearly grateful, tells Doug he owes him one. As the scouts pack up to leave, Roger even offers to help Doug load the truck. Although he sticks a "kick me" sign on Doug's back, it's clear he respects him a little more now. Doug thanks Mr. Scaly for helping him earn his first badge and says goodbye as the snake slithers back into the woods. Roger tells Doug that things between them will be different now. They'll be friends. Doug just smiles, realizing that while Roger may never completely change, things feel just right again.
This episode really shows how even a bully like Roger can have a change of heart, or at least a temporary one. Doug may not have expected to learn much on this hiking trip, but in the end, he earned a little bit of respect for himself and, surprisingly, for Roger. We get a look outside our usual environment in this episode by getting outside. This show really expanded on the world of Bluffington and fleshed out the town quite a bit. I really enjoyed Doug's imagination in this episode, as venturing and exploring nature, especially at that age, can certainly feel terrifying at times if you're not equipped for survival. This show loved to pair up Doug and Roger in many episodes in this series, as it consistently provided the conflict it needed to tell a story. It's a fairly classic trope in storytelling, as usually one or the other or both learn something from each other. Overall, I give this episode 3 merit badges. It's a great expansion on the world in general for this show, and really portrays an accurate feelings of exploration and how to manage those who try to take advantage of others. Kids, I definitely was part of Boy Scouts when growing up. I'm fairly positive we went from Cub Scouts to then Think Wolf Scout. And while I would love to say that I learned a lot of valuable skills that would help me later in life, or even in the woods in general, realistically, I just have a ton of memories of running around like a crazy kid playing tag during meetings, hoping my dad would allow me to paint the Pinewood Derby car like a Batmobile, firing off model rockets in the field behind our house, and creating a goofy space mission video with the other Cub Scouts. I even recall trying to sell a ton of Christmas trees around the time of Christmas in order to earn something like a Super Nintendo or something like that, which I'm pretty sure there's an episode of Doug that has a fairly similar situation. I learned a lot from my parents when camping with them, which we did quite often when growing up. We would take at least 2 trips in the summer, and some of those trips would certainly become core memories for me. I have no doubt that your mom and I will one day take you kids camping to escape the everyday routine of life, to experience some quality time by the campfire. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Reviews for My Kids, the show where I recap, review, and reminisce on all of the things I've grown to love over the years to not only share with my kids, but with you as well. Tune in next time. Bye!